Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Let's Talk About Music. My name is Mikey Vitale, and today we are going to be talking about one of my favorite bands, The National. These guys are an indie rock band out of Ohio who started getting attention with their third album, Alligator, and 4 albums later have proven themselves to be one of the most consistent bands in indie rock. The National sound is centered around 3 main pillars: brothers Aaron and Bryce Dresner's often dark and moody instrumentation and production, Brian Devendorf's hard-hitting drumming that at times is so robotic and precise it doesn't sound human. Go listen to their song Mistaken for Strangers for an example of what I'm talking about. And the third part of the National success and the topic of today's video is Matt Berninger's lyrics. Matt sings from the perspective of a man who's been around the block a few times and has learned a thing or two along the way. Let's start with I'll Still Destroy You, a track off their most recent album.
This one's like your sister's best friends in a bath, calling you to join them. Can't avoid them. This one's like your mother's arms when she was young and sunburned in the 80s. It lasts forever.
Matt starts off the song comparing drugs to various life experiences. He's trying to escape the real world, if only for a moment. I love the imagery being made here, and Matt's delivery sounds hopeful, nostalgic, and sad all at the same time. Matt goes on to say,
I'm just trying to stay in touch with anything I'm still in touch with.
and then proceeds with a couple of lines about his daughter, the only thing he feels he's still in touch with.
Put your heels against the wall, I swear you got a little bit taller since I saw you. I'll still destroy you.
Matt hasn't been home and he's been off touring and recording. When he comes home, he realizes his daughter has grown. He points out her height, but of course it's more than that. He's missed part of her childhood, something that is impossible to get back. Ultimately, he feels his shortcomings, both as a father and perhaps as a person, will still destroy her, even if he isn't physically present. He doubts his abilities as a parent and believes whether or not he's there to help nurture, care, and watch her grow, he is still somehow at risk of damaging her. In just a few simple lines, Matt is able to convey the emotion he feels as a father and the new responsibilities and risks that come along with it. Next, I want to delve into their song Brainy, a song about a dying relationship and the narrator's attempts at clinging on to the remnants.
I've been dragging around from the end of your coat for 2 weeks. Everywhere you go is swirling, everything you say has water under it. You know I keep your fingerprints in a pink folder in the middle of my table. You're the tall kingdom I surround. Think I better follow you around.
Matt knows the relationship is nearing the end and is simply dragging on to his partner. He is trying to justify the relationship's existence by reminding her of the things that he knows about her, referenced by the fingerprints that he keeps out plainly for her to see. In doing so, reminding her of what he knows.
You keep changing your fancy mind every time I decide to let it go. I was up all night again, boning up and reading the American dictionary. You'll never believe me what I found. Think I better follow you around.
Matt starts to get bitter here, sarcastically saying that she has a fancy mind and that of course she knows everything there is to know. Matt combats this by saying he's been up late at night reading the American dictionary, trying to show that he is on the same level of her fancy mind. He's trying to pretend he's smarter than he really is, and that she should stick around because 1, he is so smart, and 2, because he knows things about her and he knows her secrets. Berninger is able to describe a man desperately hanging on to an already failed relationship with odd metaphors about pink folders and dictionaries, showing his talent as a lyricist. Next, Matt finds himself in an uncomfortable social situation in the song Slow Show off of 2007's The Boxer.
Standing at the punch table, swallowing punch. Can't pay attention to the sound of anyone. A little more stupid, a little more scared. Every minute, more unprepared.
He's at a party. He's drinking punch. Why are you staring at him? Isn't that what he's supposed to be doing? In fact, he drinks so much that later in the song he leaned on the wall and the wall leaned away. Matt is obviously nervous and uncomfortable. He knows he's out of his element and wants to rush home, somewhere he feels at ease, and can be himself with somebody he loves and cares for, without worrying about feeling awkward.
I wanna hurry home to you. Put on a slow down show for you. Crack you up. You know I dreamed about you for 29 years before I saw you. You know I dreamed about you. I missed you for 29 years.
He feels he has finally found somebody he can relate to, somebody he can be himself around and has been dreaming of meeting his entire life. Now that he has this somebody, he wants nothing more than to stay behind closed doors with her and catch up on the lost time spent searching for each other. Matt's narration here is perfect and is able to convey both the sense of unease at the party and the feeling of wholeness with the one he loves. The National often get political in their lyrics, and even had their song Fake Empire used in an ad during Obama's 2008 campaign. On High Violet, Matt talks about war.
See you inside, watching swans on TV. Living and dying in New York, it means nothing to me. I gave my heart to the army, the only sentimental thing I could think of. Cousins and cousins somewhere overseas, but it'll take a better war to kill a college man like me.
That last line is almost jarring taken out of context, because it seems Matt feels he is too good for war. That because he is an educated man, he deserves to have higher ambitions than to go overseas and get killed. But there is a sense of guilt in between the lines. He feels guilty in not being able to relate to the swarms of armies on TV, and that people he knows are in those swarms, potentially going and walking into their death. Matt knows how to leave his lines open for interpretation, and does so even if it means he can be seen in a negative light. I want to point out here the running theme of growing up into adulthood within three of the National's albums, Alligator, The Boxer, and High Violet. First, within Alligator, there is a sense of debauchery and hopefulness towards the future, within songs like Daughters of the Soho Riots and City Middle. Matt is trying to reconcile these feelings with the growing responsibility of being several years removed from college and the big 3-0 becoming less of a distant inevitable and more of an uncompromising reality. The National's next album, Boxer, shows the band in the next stage of their life. The album art being one of the band members' weddings shows this perfectly. In the album, house parties turn to dinner parties, and there are increasing references to professionalism and business, and of course, the start of the political themes within the National's music. And lastly, their album High Violet paints the picture of a man being increasingly defined by his family and his relationship to them, along with the pressures of becoming a father and looking towards escapism to cope and get away, as in the songs Runaway and Lemon World. Matt shows an increasingly disconnect with the cities around him and the youth that now live in them. These three albums paint the life of a man growing up and learning to accept the life that has been dealt to him, not with resentfulness because it means the end of his youth and dreams, but with hesitant open arms because he knows it has to be done. One thing I've always loved about Matt Berninger is his ability to craft lines that stick in your head and follow you around for days. So at the end here, I just want to shotgun some of my favorite lines and maybe they'll get stuck in your head too.
It takes an ocean up to break. It takes an ocean up to break. I am secretly in love thought about love, when I thought about home. Oh, you wouldn't want an angel watching over, surprise, surprise, they wouldn't want to watch.
You know you have a permanent piece in my medium-sized American heart. Indie rock has not had a lyricist on this level since Morrissey of the Smiths. While what Matt sometimes has to say can be misconstrued as the whiny ramblings of a successful man with nothing really to complain about, what Matt has to say is vivid, relatable, and comes from a place of meaning. The National's lyrics to me are the backbone of their success, and what has helped to keep them be as consistent as they've been, and I'm sure it will continue to be. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. If you've never listened to The National before, there are links below to all the songs talked about in this video. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram for news on upcoming videos, and also to check out my list of favorite albums from 2017, which of course includes these guys. And that's the end of this video, and I'll see you in the next one.